starting hands. And here, an interesting decision, right? You might say, oh, are you supposed to min raise? Do you have min raises off this stack? What do you like here? A jam, or do you just think it's the automatic min raise?
Min raise, definitely. 13 big blinds. I definitely have a min raise range there for sure. Let's see if maybe this chip leader might do something with an ace here. He's thinking a little bit. I mean, it's definitely a pretty loose 3-bet, but there is a lot of ICM pressure here. Well, Jordan does have one of the shorter stacks, so I don't think there is a ton of ICM pressure here. That being said, an ace is a pretty good hand to just come after him.
Yeah, well, he did just that, and of course, going to get met with the all-in. So nicely executed from Jordan to get.
It's bigger than the big blind, and that's going to change. So, ranges should loosen a little bit, and then later when it's forehand, the ante is going to be much smaller. Ranges should tighten a little bit. So some people don't pay much attention to that. I think it's a factor for sure, but yeah, something like ace 10 offsuit makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I think Eric 3-betting right away with that holding, as we see a pretty aggressive 3-bet shove there with a 9-10 suited. The ICM implications are having an effect on him, which they should. So he's one guy who it's affecting, and we'll see if it affects many others than him. But he's definitely tightened up in some spots that some players would have played those hands for sure.
Well, the interesting spot here with 5-6 suited and does defend. Can't blame him. You saw him pause for a little because kind of realizing the stack is very short. Is the implied odds there? But hey, he flops bottom 2 pair, and Jordan is in a world of hurt. There is really no path away from getting there. I think right on the 5-6-9 2 spade board, it's going to be really hard. And look at the lead out from Eric. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Considering ICM things, Jordan should be tighter than normal, so he hits this flop less hard than he normally would.
Wow. So, wow. Oh my, wow. The interesting part though is like, all right, you get called by maybe ace king or some spade draws. You now have you're blocking full houses. You get counterfeited. You realize you're losing to any pair, 7s plus, right? So this is an interesting card. If Eric isn't going to like it, but could he still put the gas on here? And he does.
Exactly. I think he just assumes he will have the best hand a fair amount. Jordan didn't raise the flop, which, with an overpair, I think a lot of people are just going to raise the flop and get it in. And he chose not to. And now he gets called again. So the 6-5, when the spades get there, can't be very confident they have the best hand at all. I mean, Jordan surely could have like an ace high type of hand, pill 2 streets, but I think most of the time Eric is just going to lose this pot against Jordan's range. Yeah, and
wow.
He does.
Wow.
Check,
Jordan's going to happily check back.
Yeah,
there.
happily checked it back. Okay.
Nice. I like that. I respect that choice, and it's very close with. I'm very happy to take Samuel. I'll also take Kanapong. I love the kind of have to, right? There's really no other choice, but I like that 9-10 suited shove. He came in like ready to tango. So I'm feeling good with my 2.
Your 2-3 picks this was a good spot for the 2-3 picks because they're the clear number 2 and 3s out in front by a lot. So do I get 2 now?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we should wait till his hand's over. Or should I just do it in the middle of the hand?
You can do it whenever you want. But this is actually, this guy is also, he's going to step into it here. But look at the heart. I mean, he's just went for 2 3-bets in a row.
Yeah.
Both fairly light. The ace-9 suited feels close, right? It's sort of like could flat, but you also could just fold in this spot ICM wise. I got to say, we're going to see collisions today. You just know it. These guys are playing.
Yeah. I think we might not see a lot of players aren't flatting a lot with sub 20 big blind stacks with ICM implications. So that might be the reason for his he might just be playing a strict fold or 3-bet strategy. and surely the fours would shove. Oh, the king 10 folds. So, he's playing it pretty tight to the vest too, but the four is mandatory. Got to get all in here.
He's got 4.4 million basically. Is it a sign? 4.35. There's let's see, is Eric for the 3.3 blinds, 9-10 off. I mean, you gotta imagine there's an extra 1.6, or actually, wow, there's a lot of money in there. Maybe Jeremy, listen, I'm a semi was a 3 million to win, whatever, right? Seven. I mean, it seems like a great price. Like also the guy's gonna have weak aces, he's gonna have
For sure.
broadways. He's going to not be dominated a lot of the time. He could even have sixes, sevens, whatever, fours, and he's actually flipping. I'm just, again, that's and then we see him playing. This guy's not like playing passively, so like that even shocks me more.
For sure, he's not looking to call it off, and he might be really putting a lot of emphasis on keeping a shorter stack around because he can do things like this. Whereas if he calls and doubles him up or busts him, this play has less merit because there's just more ICM pressure on these two now that with a 7 big blind stack and two 7 big blind stacks puts a lot of pressure. This ace 8 hates kind of calling this off here.
Wow. Wow. He picked the wrong guy. Jack 5, ace 8. And look at this. It is in the lead to the river. And just like that, we could lose a player. This is a huge moment for everyone at the table, including Timothy. And it is an ace on the river.
Wow.
Are you serious? I mean, talk about a moment. 25 mil,
Massive.
25 million. He's in fourth place for 1.178 versus that could be an $800,000 difference or more for that run out. And Timothy had to be puckered up. And as you said, how big a difference does that make when there was the 7 and 7 versus just 7 million chip stack? Because you saw is it really, does it add that much more to the power of short stacks? Like I haven't really thought about it that with the two short ones.
I think so. Imagine an extreme example if there was five 7 big blind stacks. A couple of them are gonna bust for sure soon. So, if there's none, there's not a lot of pressure. If there's two, there's more. The more there are, the more pressure there is. These flips at final tables are just enormous. The dollar amounts that you're flipping for is just insane. And this one specifically, when there's the top 4 spots are getting 7 figures or more, it's just massive flips, hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity in all of these pots.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that was a wild hand.
This is interesting. We saw Feng Zhao fold king 10 off in the cutoff earlier, and now he's raising threes UTG 8, which is quite loose. So maybe he thinks he's going to get more a little more credit if he's raising an early position, possibly.
Look at this guy. Hanapong, man. I want to be this guy. I want his game. He's ripping the 9-10 suited out of the big. He's flatting aces, and now he's got threes on betting. And if you think about it, it's a very safe board. There's not many eights that this player's raising from this position. This is actually it may appear like, and then he just gives the call again. Look at, man.
And he's got the ace of spades. That helps to just call. You're worried about, you don't need to protect as much. And having 2 aces in your hand, you block the ace 8 suiteds. So you just have the best hand so often here. This is a bit of an unorthodox play for sure. I guess he just doesn't want him to check back some marginal hands. He just wants to get the value.
No, I like it, right? Yeah. What if he has jacks, queens, or kings somehow here? Or what if he has I guess there's not a lot of spade draw combos, right? That's opening like queen, king of spades. You said he blocks the ace of spades, but what exactly a hand like this? Threes would probably check back, right? Don't you think? I mean,
yeah, they might not, but this was the perfect bet against threes, right? Because they might check back, and you're charging him kind of just the perfect amount where he kind of just has to call. Threes probably on this river are going to be able to get away. It will depend on the sizing. And
I like the size.
It makes it kind of enticing. Bluffs would be, straight draws, queen jack, jack nine, 7-9 that didn't raise the flop. Definitely unorthodox to check call flop and then lead turn. Not very typical. Maybe, when you're just playing.
It could be enticing to call. I think more weighted towards straight draws that miss than the flushes there, because I think a lot of flush draws you would see the pressure put on, right? I think kind of Pong would probably check raise a lot of flush draws there and just put the guy to the test. I think
on the flop.
Yeah, like just with the stack sizes and the dynamic, but maybe not. Maybe he would just flat and I guess it depends on, again, these players have probably played decent with each other. And once you get down to 2-3 tables of a tournament of this magnitude, people kind of have the tables up, they're watching, they're checking out what's going on online. So maybe these players have a bit of familiarity with each other. And as we
Sure.
see though, a couple, the stacks get shorter and Esteban has really put himself in a good position. This is a tough spot for Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take a card off at least. Well, he feels good about that. Maybe see some leads here. The 8 hits his range much more than Samuel's. Just kind of like in the last hand, the big blind just has the 8s and the other guy doesn't. The queen 8 suited, pretty loose, but he does have the chip lead now, so I think it's fine probably. So his hand's very disguised. He just does not have very many 8s, king 8 suited, maybe some queen 8 suited, and then some ace 8s.
Yeah, the question here is though, like that's the problem, right? So Sam's like, wow, how did this happen? I have an 8 here, but what can I do? What would I like? He should have more 8s. What am I representing? How much am I betting? And this is an interesting sizing, what he goes for half pot.
Yeah, I think it's the standard size he should have here. The range, this board favors the big blind a lot, so Samuel can't really put in a ton of money. That being said, he still wants to bet some overpairs, nines, tens, jacks, queens, just for protection, because Jordan will just have flush draws, straight draws, ace high type of hands like that. So it's not crazy. It's not like a spot where you want to just pure check, obviously, but and he's just getting in the check raise. I like it. I like the size. You definitely just want to go very small target, just like overcards and flush draws, things like this. Ace high, maybe, if they did that.
Well, surely Sam's going to call. I mean, obviously he's got they have the nuts quad sixes, but the interesting part is there is still card on the river. There are a 7 or a queen could flop this hand onto a massive pot, but as it plays, it will be a chop. And look at the chess clocks. Everyone using a little time. You're kind of in a dream spot, and now the river comes in 22 million, and Jordan is, as we know it, will be chopping. But this was a pretty. I mean, Jordan's gotten some very favorable situations so far. He's gotten some big hands. He's gotten played back at, got to take it down. He had the chop here. I think there was another, the one where he could have been out easily, where he had kings versus the flop 2 pair that he ended up getting to win as well. So he's got the blinds are up, Jeremy, 500,000, 1 million. That is a good sign. Anytime you're in the 500K, 1 million level, that means you're doing something right. You're deep in a tournament, and here we go. A couple more suited aces getting distributed here, and a tough spot. Oliver now. I mean, again, he's early position against chip leader, no fold equity. Going to have to fold, imagine. But this is now him and Timothy are sort of jockeying for that critical short situation.
Yeah, some people might put in the 5 big blinds. Probably a little weak here. Although Samuel did just show down the queen 8 suited, so it's not like he's got a too tight of a range even in early position. Also, Timothy's got to take the big blind the next hand. He does just decide to put it in. I mean, I get it. Suited ace. But 0 fold equity, which is never fun. Interesting spot here with ace queen suited. I don't think you can fold. It clicks it back. I like this a lot.
All right, well, here we go. Ace queen suited versus ace 3 suited. Interesting to note the ace 4 of spades was folded. As it stands, ace 3 clubs got a lot of real estate. Look at that. Ooh, man, I don't know.
Some exciting runouts.
Yeah, this is everything is everyone's in. All 9 are still in. This is a wild.
So I think it's fine, but I think a lot of players, I would probably lean towards like a 3-bet fold, but it is a tight range. You know, it's under the gun opening. You're next. You have everyone behind you. You 3-bet. You're kind of priced in against a couple of guys. That's never fun because their range is super tight if they do shove. And here we see the not so earlier we saw Jordan do the min 3-bet with the kings, I believe, right? And here we see Fang's approach different. He's just gonna make a very large raise, basically shove.
Yeah, well, we're off to the races. Quite an action flop. Ace, queen of hearts, turn clean, has that king of hearts blocker. 3-1 favorite, 75% to the river. Can it be it's a lot of praying going on, and it is a base card, which is safe, non-heart, jack of clubs on the river, and
Ooh.
Fang is gonna double up, and that is a relief to everyone in the tournament because other than Timothy, who's going to get 279,000 amazing efforts, and look at that.